Sagittarius, releasing guilt. A journey of self-forgiveness and healing. There comes a time in all of our lives when we are confronted by a weight we cannot ignore. The weight of guilt. It is a feeling that lingers, often quietly, in the corners of our hearts, a reminder of moments left unsaid, actions undone, and love that we wish we could have expressed more perfectly. For you, this guilt is tied to your mother, perhaps to things you didn't do, words you didn't say, or times you wish you could have been there more. The loss of a mother often leaves a void, one that is filled with these what-ifs and could-have-beens. But today, I invite you to embark on a journey of releasing that very guilt. Your mother, from wherever she is, does not want you to carry this burden. She never expected perfection from you. She simply wanted your love, your presence, your heart. And now, as you walk through your healing process, it is time to learn to forgive yourself and let go of the heavy weight that holds you back from experiencing peace. In this moment, as you begin to understand this, I invite you to pause and breathe. Let go of the self-blame and open your heart to healing. Let this journey of self-forgiveness be the first step towards embracing the freedom and peace that your soul truly deserves. The love your mother gave you was always enough, and it is time for you to realize that your love, your presence, and your authenticity are enough too. Gate 1. The unanswered questions. Guilt for what wasn't said or done for your mother. Sagittarius, one of the most difficult parts of grief is confronting the unanswered questions. After a loved one passes, it's natural to reflect on the things left unsaid, the actions left undone, and the moments we wish we could have done differently. These questions are not just thoughts. They are feelings that can feel like heavy burdens on our hearts. And when we lose a mother, these questions become even more profound, echoing through our thoughts and filling the spaces where our connection once lived. Did I do enough for her? Did I tell her I loved her enough? Was there something more I should have done? The feeling of guilt is often tied to these unanswered questions. We replay conversations, actions, and moments over and over again, wondering if we missed an opportunity to show our love or to be more present. Perhaps there were times you felt like you could have done more, times when you didn't fully express the depth of your love, or moments when you were not as attentive as you wish you had been. These questions often linger, feeding the guilt that we carry in silence. In these moments of reflection, we can fall into the trap of believing that our love was not enough. We might convince ourselves that if we had done more, if we had been more present, or if we had said the right words at the right time, things would have been different. But the truth, Sagittarius, is that love is not about perfection. It's not about saying the perfect words or taking the perfect actions at all times. Love, in its truest form, is about presence, showing up for someone in the best way you know how, in the moment you're in. You might have had moments of doubt where you felt you weren't enough or that you should have done more. It's natural to feel this way, but these feelings stem from a belief that love must be proven, that we must always be perfect in our expression of love. And this belief, Sagittarius, is what holds us back from healing. It's what keeps us trapped in the cycle of guilt, thinking that we must atone for something that doesn't need to be fixed. Your mother knew your heart. She knew how deeply you loved her, even in the moments when you may not have said it, or when you didn't show up in the way you wished you had. Love is not always about grand gestures. It's often found in the quiet moments, the way you shared a look, the simple acts of kindness, or the small ways you were there for her when she needed you. Those moments, no matter how small they seem now, were enough. They were more than enough. And yet, the guilt persists. Why is it so hard to let go of the things we didn't do or say? Part of it is the way we perceive love, as something that must always be flawless. We hold ourselves to impossible standards, thinking that if we loved someone enough, we would always know the right thing to say or do. But this is not the truth, Sagittarius. Perfection does not exist in love. Perfection is a false narrative that we have been conditioned to believe, and it is this very narrative that often leads us to feel guilty after a loss. The truth is that love is messy. It's imperfect, it's flawed, and it's constantly evolving. Your relationship with your mother was no exception. You gave her your love in the way you knew how, in the moments that you shared. And that love was enough. There is nothing more to prove. You don't need to ask yourself if you did enough, because you did. Your love, even in its imperfection, was enough for her. But even with this truth, it can still feel hard to let go of the guilt. The mind wants to keep asking, what if? It wants to keep searching for a way to fix the past, to make things right. But no amount of dwelling on the past will change it. It only keeps you tethered to something that no longer exists. Your mother's love for you was never dependent on perfection. It was built on the bond you shared, the moments you lived together, and the presence you offered each other in your lives. So Sagittarius, it's time to release those unanswered questions. The guilt you carry is rooted in a belief that you could have been better, but in reality, you were already doing the best you could. No one is perfect, and that's okay. The love you shared with your mother was real, it was enough, and it was unconditional. Let go of the idea that there was something more to do. Let go of the need to prove that your love was enough. It was enough, and it always will be. The unanswered questions are not there to punish you. They are a reflection of the deep love you have for your mother. But it is time to release the hold they have on your heart. You do not need to carry the guilt anymore. You do not need to hold on to the past in order to honor the love you shared. Take a moment and reflect on this. What if the love you gave your mother was enough just as it was? What if there was nothing else you needed to do, nothing else you needed to say? What if right now, in this moment, you could let go of the guilt and embrace the truth that you did everything you could, and that your love was more than enough? As you release these unanswered questions, you are beginning to free yourself from the guilt that holds you back. You are opening yourself to the peace and healing that you deserve. Your mother's love was never about perfection, and your love for her doesn't need to be perfect either. All that matters is that you gave your love freely, fully, and from the heart. Now it is time to let that love live on, not as a source of guilt, but as a source of strength. You don't need to carry the weight of the what-ifs. Your love was enough, and it always will be. Gate 2. Letting go of guilt. Your mother doesn't want you to carry this burden. Sagittarius, one of the most powerful and transformative realizations you can have in your journey of healing is that your mother would never want you to carry the weight of guilt. While it's natural to reflect on the things we could have done differently, when we lose someone we love deeply, we often forget the most crucial truth. Our loved ones do not want us to suffer. They do not want us to carry burdens, especially the burden of guilt. Your mother's love was always unconditional, and that includes the love she has for you in her absence. It's important to recognize that the guilt you are carrying is not yours to bear. This weight, while it feels heavy and real, does not belong to you. It was never meant to be yours. The human experience is filled with imperfections, and your mother, who loved you deeply, understood that better than anyone. She didn't expect you to be perfect, nor did she expect you to always know the right things to do. What she wanted from you was love, presence, and sincerity. That was more than enough for her. Your mother, even now, wants you to live a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. She wants you to let go of the guilt that has held you back, because that guilt keeps you tethered to the past. It keeps you stuck in a space of regret and sorrow, and it prevents you from moving forward with the love and light she always knew you had within you. In these moments of reflection, when you feel the weight of guilt pressing down on you, take a step back and ask yourself, would your mother want you to continue carrying this burden? Would she want you to live in a constant state of self-blame, regretting the past? No, Sagittarius. Your mother would want you to forgive yourself and free your heart, so that you could live in alignment with the love she always had for you. Guilt often arises when we think we could have done more, when we believe there are things left undone. It's as if we are constantly searching for ways to fix the past. But the past cannot be changed, and no amount of guilt will undo anything that has already happened. The key to healing lies in accepting that your love was enough, and that your presence, even if imperfect, was the greatest gift you could offer. Think about the moments you spent with your mother. Perhaps there were times when you felt you could have said something more meaningful or done something differently. But I want you to reflect on this. You showed up for her. You loved her in the ways you were capable of, and that was always enough. Your mother understood the complexities of life, the moments when we fall short or miss the mark. She never expected perfection. She knew that life is not about flawless execution, but about showing up with an open heart, with authenticity. As you begin to release the guilt, remember this. Your mother's love was never conditional upon your actions being perfect. She did not need you to do everything right. She simply needed you to love her in your way, and you did. In fact, the love you shared was never about what was said or done. It was about the bond you formed, the connection that transcended words and actions. So, as you work to let go of the guilt, I want you to truly internalize this. You are not the sum of your mistakes, and you are not defined by the things you think you could have done better. You are defined by your heart, your ability to love, and your willingness to show up in the moments that mattered. That is what your mother valued. And now it's time for you to value that too. It may feel hard at first, Sagittarius, to release the guilt. It's ingrained in us to hold ourselves accountable for things we didn't do, for ways we think we could have been better. But letting go is an act of self-love. It's the acknowledgement that you did your best, and that your mother's love for you was never based on perfection. It's the understanding that she wants you to live a life free from regret, a life that reflects the beautiful, imperfect love you shared together. When you let go of guilt, you allow space for healing, for peace, and for joy. You allow yourself to be free, to step into the light your mother always saw in you. And this freedom is not just for you, Sagittarius. It's a way of honoring the love that your mother gave you, by living in the fullness of who you are, without the chains of guilt holding you back. She never wanted you to suffer. She wanted you to thrive, to grow, and to live with an open heart. So today, take a deep breath and release that burden. Let go of the guilt and embrace the truth. You did enough. You were enough. You always will be. Gate 3. Accepting that love is enough. Your mother only needed your presence, not perfection. Sagittarius, one of the most profound truths you can embrace in your healing journey is this. Love, especially a mother's love, is never about perfection. It is not about saying the right words at the right time, nor is it about always having the perfect actions. It is simply about being present, about offering your heart in the way that only you can. And this is all your mother ever truly needed from you. Your presence, your love, and the authenticity of your heart. The rest, the little imperfections, the mistakes you think you made, were never as important as your ability to simply be there with love. It is easy to get caught up in the idea that love must be perfect, especially when we lose someone so important. We often think that if we loved them enough, we would have always said the right things or done the right things. But that is not the nature of love, Sagittarius. Love is not about flawless execution. Love is about connection. It is about the energy we share with one another, the comfort, the understanding, the moments of deep, silent communication. And your mother understood that. She knew without a doubt that you loved her, imperfectly but deeply. Your mother did not need you to be perfect, Sagittarius. She did not need grand gestures or perfect moments. What she needed was you, your heart, your presence, and your love just as it was. She understood that you would make mistakes, that you wouldn't always know the right thing to say, and that you would have your moments of doubt and imperfection. And yet she loved you through it all. In fact, it was your authentic love, the love that you gave her in the moments you shared together, that she valued the most. It was never about being flawless, it was about being real. When you look back at the relationship you had with your mother, think about the moments that were the most meaningful. Was it the times when everything was perfect? Or was it the times when you simply shared a space together, where words weren't needed and everything felt right because you were there? These are the moments that matter most. The moments of connection that transcended perfection. Your mother cherished those moments more than anything. This understanding is crucial in your journey of healing, Sagittarius. The guilt you carry stems from the belief that love requires perfection, but that belief is not true. Love doesn't demand flawlessness. It doesn't demand that we have everything figured out or that we always know what to do. Love simply asks for authenticity, for us to show up as we are, with an open heart. And that is exactly what you gave your mother. Perhaps in the past, you believed that you needed to be perfect in order to be worthy of love, or that your mistakes disqualified you from being the kind of child your mother deserved. But that is not the case. Perfection was never required. Love was. And you gave her that love with your heart wide open. When you let go of the belief that love must be perfect, you allow yourself to step into a space of freedom. You allow yourself to stop judging yourself for the moments you feel you failed or didn't measure up. You begin to see that your presence, your love, and your authenticity are all that is truly needed. And that is enough. Your mother's love for you was never about what you did or didn't do. It was about who you were, who you are. She loved you for your heart, for your soul, and for the way you loved her in return. The bond you shared was never about actions or words. It was about the deep connection between you, the mutual respect, the unspoken understanding, and the unwavering love that transcended the limitations of time and perfection. It's important to remember that love is not about being flawless. It's about showing up for the ones we love with our hearts wide open. And that is exactly what you did, Sagittarius. You were there for your mother in the ways you could be. You loved her in the ways you could love her. You gave her your heart, and that is all she ever needed from you. As you release the guilt that tells you you weren't enough, I encourage you to replace it with this truth. You were always enough. Your love was always enough. Your presence was always enough. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. The love you gave, the love you continue to carry within you, is all that is needed to honor the bond you shared with your mother. The freedom that comes with this acceptance is a powerful one. It is the freedom to live your life without the weight of guilt, knowing that the love you gave was exactly what your mother wanted and needed. She never asked for perfection. She only asked for your love, your presence, and your heart. And that is exactly what she received. So as you move forward in this journey, embrace the truth that love is enough. Your love, your heart, your authenticity. These are the things that matter most. And your mother, from the other side, is cheering you on, knowing that you have always been enough. Gate 4. Forgiving yourself, learning to let go of guilt and live freely. Sagittarius, one of the most important steps in your healing process is learning the art of self-forgiveness. It is an act of love and compassion, one that allows you to break free from the chains of guilt and self-blame that have held you captive for so long. To forgive yourself is not to excuse mistakes or overlook the things you wish you had done differently. It is to release yourself from the grip of guilt and to acknowledge that, despite your imperfections, you are worthy of peace, love, and freedom. Forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things to do, especially when you feel you have let someone down. The guilt you carry often tells you that if you truly loved your mother, you would have been perfect. You would have said the right things, done the right things, and never made a mistake. But this belief is rooted in the misconception that love must be flawless in order to be real. It is time, Sagittarius, to let go of that belief. Love is not about being perfect, it is about being real. It is about showing up for someone in the ways that you can, with the heart that you have. When we hold on to guilt, we are essentially carrying the weight of something that was never meant to be ours. The guilt that you carry over things left unsaid, or actions not taken, is not something your mother ever wanted you to bear. She loved you unconditionally, and she knew that you did your best, even in moments of imperfection. In her eyes, you were enough just as you were, and there was nothing more you needed to do to prove that. The act of forgiving yourself is a declaration that you no longer need to carry this burden. It is a recognition that you are human, that you made choices based on the knowledge and understanding you had at the time, and that you did the best you could with what you knew. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it frees you from the emotional weight of guilt. It allows you to move forward with an open heart, knowing that you are worthy of peace, just as you are worthy of love. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to forgive yourself fully and completely. What if you could look back at the moments of doubt, the moments where you thought you failed, and instead of feeling guilt, you felt compassion for the person you were in those moments? What if you could embrace your imperfections and see them as part of your beautiful, human experience? The truth is that the mistakes you think you made, the things you wish you could have done differently, do not define you. What defines you is your capacity to love, your willingness to grow, and your ability to show up, even in the face of imperfection. Self-forgiveness is a powerful gift. It is the key that unlocks the door to freedom, allowing you to step into a life of peace and joy. When you forgive yourself, you are giving yourself permission to live without the weight of the past. You are choosing to step into the light of your own truth, knowing that you did the best you could, and that you are worthy of love, compassion, and understanding. But forgiveness is not something that happens overnight. It is a process, one that requires patience, self-compassion, and a deep understanding of your own humanity. The road to self-forgiveness may not always be smooth, but it is worth every step. It is the road that leads you back to yourself, to the truth of who you are, and the love you have always had within you. And as you begin to forgive yourself, remember this: your mother, from wherever she is, wants nothing more than for you to find peace. She wants you to stop carrying the guilt that weighs you down. She wants you to remember that she loved you exactly as you were. She loved you for your heart, for your spirit, and for the ways you showed up for her. She never expected perfection. She simply wanted your love, your presence, and your authenticity. Now, Sagittarius, it is time for you to give yourself that same love and acceptance. It is time to let go of the guilt that has held you back and to embrace the freedom that comes with self-forgiveness. When you forgive yourself, you honor your mother's love for you. You honor her memory by choosing to live freely, without the burden of guilt, and by stepping into the fullness of who you are. As you release the guilt and allow yourself to be free, you will begin to feel lighter, more at peace, and more connected to the love that your mother always had for you. This is the path to healing, the path that leads to a life of joy, freedom, and peace. And as you walk this path, know that your mother is right beside you, supporting you, cheering you on, and reminding you that you are enough, just as you are. Conclusion: embracing peace and freedom, stepping into a new space of healing. Sagittarius, as you release the weight of guilt and step into the freedom that comes with self-forgiveness, you are opening a new chapter in your life, one where peace, healing, and love can flow freely through your heart. The journey you have walked through these past moments, filled with reflections on what you could have done differently, now transforms into a journey of acceptance. Accepting that you did your best, that you were enough, and that you always showed up with the love you had to give. This journey is about letting go of the past and embracing the present moment with compassion and understanding. Your mother, from wherever she is, would want nothing more than for you to live a life of joy and peace. She would never want you to carry the burden of guilt any longer. She would want you to forgive yourself, to step into the light of your own truth, and to live in a way that honors the love you both shared. Now, as you embrace this forgiveness, you are not only healing yourself but also honoring the deep, unconditional love that she always had for you. In letting go of guilt, you free yourself from the chains that have held you in place, allowing your spirit to soar and your heart to heal. This newfound freedom is your birthright, one that you have always been worthy of, no matter the mistakes or imperfections you may have carried with you. It is time to step into this space of healing, to walk forward with peace in your heart, and to embrace the fullness of who you are. Remember, Sagittarius, that you are a work in progress. Healing does not happen overnight, and it is not linear. But with each step you take towards forgiveness, you release a little more of the past and open yourself up to the abundance of peace, love, and freedom that awaits you. Your mother's love will always be with you, guiding you, supporting you, and reminding you that you are worthy of healing. As you move forward, remember this: you are enough. You always have been. And now you are free to live fully, to love deeply, and to honor the love that you shared with your mother by living your life with an open heart, full of peace and acceptance. Take a deep breath and feel the weight lift. You have freed yourself, Sagittarius. The journey of healing continues, but you are no longer burdened by guilt. You are free to live in the light of love, peace, and joy.